Okay, so now that you're ready to start creating content in your Google site, one thing that we've kind of learned through the process is that it makes sense to have a shared folder in your Google Drive where you keep all the content that you want to put on your site. For some reason, and I have actually already listed this as a feature request, when you put something on your website, it doesn't actually inherit sharing permissions. So if you haven't permitted whoever it is that's viewing your site to be able to see that content, actually says like error, which to me doesn't make sense. If it's a Google site and you're uploading a Google Doc, it should automatically inherit whatever permissions you've set for your site, whether that be everybody see it or everybody at the Hilton Central School District see it. So it doesn't work like that. It should. So you can tell them, hey, like, you know, Jackie told us that we should list this as a feature request. No, I'm just joking. But we should definitely say, like, that should be a feature request. So to circumvent that, you need to create a folder in your Drive. It could be just like a classroom website folder, and then that folder needs to be shared out with everyone. So I'm actually going to leave where I am because I have this set up right now to only record this particular tab. So, but what I want you to do is I want you to open a new tab and go to your Google Drive. And in your Drive, we're going to create a shared folder. And then anything that you want to put on your website, you need to have it could just be a copy of it or the original file that you want everyone to see located there. Let's see how much I can like gesticulate throughout this class. So in your Drive, I recommend just creating a folder called your website or whatever the name of your site is. So new folder, and I'm going to call this Google site. But you could call it whatever else you wanted. So I have multiple sites, so maybe you have a Google site folder and then a folder for each one of your websites. You could have that as well. And then I'm going to click create. So my Google site folder comes up to the top of my Drive here. I'm going to right click on it. I can give it a color so I know that it's Google Sites, and maybe all of my Google Sites stuff is this goldenrod color, which is not accurate, but and then I'm going to right click it again and I'm going to say share. And I want you to do this as well. And then under the share, we're going to come down to the right hand corner. We're going to click on advanced and we're going to change this. You see how it's like the default is private, only you can access. We're going to change that out. You have two options. You can do on anyone with the link, or on Hilton Central School District, or on public on the web. It's up to you. I do it this way, on anyone with the link, because when you're putting it in there, they can see it. So, but you could do this one on public on the web, that's fine. And then hit save. And then hit done. So now that this folder is shared out and you see you get the little person icon, you will put everything that you want on your site into this folder so that it automatically inherits the sharing permissions. What it should do is it should inherit those permissions when you upload it, but it doesn't. It's weird. So just make sure that you're organizing your files. Anything that you want in your site, put it in that folder. Go back to your Google Sites tab. Okay, so let's talk about editing our sites. Let's get into editing our sites. So we've already named our site. If you want to change your name of your site at any time, you can click in up here and change the name of your site. You can also change the name of your homepage, change how it looks, whatever. You can move this text around. You see how you can do an off-center, kind of snazzy. You can move it to the right. You see how it gives you this block that's telling you where you're aligning things. So you can move that around as well. So I'm going to have my homepage called Welcome. Maybe I want to change the image that I have here. So if I click Change Image, I can use an image from their gallery of images. I can also upload my own image or find an image on the web and use it from a URL. I can just use a pattern. like a Google Classroom style theme, any of these. So I'm just going to pick one, because who doesn't love drinking coffee while taking notes on your computer? And then you'll see this adjusting for readability. So whenever you put an image into the background, it's automatically going to make an adjustment to the image so that you can see the text based on your theme. You can click on this to remove it, but that's the point of it being there, is so that so that you can view your header text and so forth. So that's what the header image style looks like. Again, you can change your type, you can change your image at any point, and you can also have different images on each page as well if you wanted that. So that's the header. To add content beneath your header, you just double click. So maybe you want to have text first or an image. You kind of already have an image with your header image, but these are the types that you can quick add from this kind of like fun radial button. Or you can, of course, add anything from over here. So if you already have an expectation sheet, instead of hand typing up all of the expectations again, you could just grab your expectations from over here. Or you could do it first like this. So I'm going to add some text, and I'm going to write down okay, so got it, bam, and so now I want to add something beneath it. So it works kind of like in blocks of content. So if I want to add something else into this same block, I can double click over to the right-hand side and add something within that block, or I can go beneath it and add a new block. So I'm going to click over here and go from Google Docs. Now again, any of the things that you're adding from over here, you have to have in a folder that's shared out or have shared out that individual file. Nice little added degree of difficulty. So I'm going to just pull any Google Doc that I have and just put it in here just to give you guys an idea of embedding something that you already have. And then I can show you from the back end, just making sure that that file is in the right location so that it's shared out. So I have this 6 principal, let's see, comparison projects, a whole bunch of files in here. I'm just going to stick in this blank tech incentive application. So I'm going to go ahead and click insert. So this is just a blank Google Doc, and the idea is just so that you can see it. So here, do you see I have my title, and then I can embed a whole document in here, and then I can resize it so that you can actually see the doc in the screen by clicking and dragging out, and then scrolling, and then clicking and dragging out more, and dragging it down. And what it's doing is it's actually putting this kind of like image in a frame so that you can view the image within the, or the file, I'm sorry, within a frame on the web page so that you can view the whole file. So no need to like recreate all of your things that you're using in your classroom, rubrics and so forth. You can actually just put them in here. You could also just link to them from your drive. You have a lot of flexibility with this, but that's just one way that you can put a doc in there. So now I've put this technology incentive application into my website. I need to make sure on the back end that it's in that folder. So I recommend, if you have taking some time and if you have files that you're going to use on your website, coming to your drive, you know, maybe it's all of these files here, wherever you're in your drive, and making a copy of them and putting them into your Google Site folder first, and then putting those into your site. That way you have kind of like your website version of all of your files, but then you still have all of your originals. So my Blake Tech Incentive file is in this folder. So to actually practice what I'm telling you to do, I would come in here and I'd find my blank one. And I could have searched for it. And instead of inserting this one, what I could have done was clicked it made a copy. And then once I created the copy of it, I can move this. So I'm going to say move to by right-clicking and moving. And then I'm going to put this in my Google site folder in my drive. And then I know it's going to be shared out because I already shared out that folder. So if I say okay, it's inheriting those sharing permissions. That's the point. And then on my site, instead of putting this one in there, I would put the one that I just made a copy of. So I'm going to trash this one by clicking on the trash. And then to add a new one, I can either double click here and say from Drive, or I can grab right from my docs because I know it's a Google Doc, and it's actually the most recent Google Doc that I've opened. So it should be the first one here. So instead of having to dig through your Drive, if you know it's a Google Doc, you can just grab the doc from over here. If you don't know what it is, you can dig through your Drive. So if I double click on it like this, it's going in. And or you could have clicked and hit submit or insert. I'm going to hit the X. And you'll see here, so now I have my file in there like this. I could also link to files as well. That's fine. Got all kinds of options. So that's how you add some content to your Google site. You have, I'm going to show you, because like on the 9th grade site, I had some stuff like next to each other, so I'll show you what that looks like. You can rearrange your blocks of content by clicking and dragging up and down like this. You can do that. Let's say I want to have a video over here, so I can double click over here and say, from Drive, I have a video. So I'm going to pull a video from my Google Drive. Maybe it's going to be this awesome one that I just recorded a little while ago, and I'm going to click Insert. And you see how it comes in over to the left-hand side, or yeah, my other left, my right-hand side of this, and then I can actually resize these things, these pieces. I'm over resizing right now. But I can resize these little thumbnails and bring them over and share them out like this so that they're tiled out side by side. It'll automatically resize my text. Yep. And it'll resize my video so that they fit in there. Just be careful, you know, resizing like that. The best way to resize, I'm doing it right now, showing you guys the wrong way, is to use corners because then it'll stay proportional. So if you use corners, it'll stay proportional. So that's how you can put stuff next to one another. You know, watch this video, answer these 3 questions. If you're using a site like that, or if you're just disseminating information that you want students to have access to. So that's your site there. And that's how you add content to your site. To add some pages to our site, we come over to the Pages tab. And we add some pages. So maybe I want a page for each one of the courses that I teach, and then under each one of those courses that I teach, I can have subpages. So I add pages like that, and we will cover adding pages